Xavi Alonso, welcome to Chelsea CFC. Well, I'm happy and sort of excited to have you here. I'm not entirely over the moon or overly gassed that, yes, the only thing I'm gassed and happy about is the fact that we finally have a coach with some sort of experience, not some mechanic, not some cleaner, not some janitor from some nowhere, no man knows land, and not some interim manager or some interim coach and all that kind of stuff. Finally, we have somebody that has some sort of good experience. Not the best experience that I'll probably desire or I'll probably want, but we have somebody that could actually do something somewhat. I've spoken to quite a few people. I was having a discussion with one of my bros in the comment about, yes, Xavi Alonso has the football experience, managing experience. Yes, he has managed Bayern Leverkusen, or Leverkusen, I don't even know how to say the name, but yeah. But you know what club I'm talking about. He's managed them and he's gone to Madrid. It didn't really work out in Madrid, but in Bayern Leverkusen, he actually worked out, and I think he actually won. Did he win? Oh man, I'm hearing some stats anyways. I can't remember or how accurate the stats are, but yeah, some sort of experience which is doable, is manageable. Do I entirely think this is gonna fix Chelsea right now at where we're at? No. Flat out, no. I don't think him coming in will make some sort of difference, but is it going to make the entire difference? Not particularly, because there are some crucial things that we're currently lacking at the moment that needs to be addressed and needs to be fixed. Yes, we still have Bluco, we still have the owners there, they ain't gone, they still have the same philosophies, they still have the same ideologies, they still have the same things. Obviously, I'm expecting Xavi Alonso to come up with his own coaching staff, and I'm hearing different talks and different conversation in different channels and different portals that at least has kind of like said, if I'm going to take this job, I want to be in full control. I don't want to be managed by the owners and the directors. You know what? Chelsea is the only team that has 5 directors. It could be more. Maybe we don't even know about. 5 directors, and you want to tell me these 5 people cannot even come to a conclusion to appoint the right manager, the right head coach, and let the coach come in and do and run his ideas and have full control. They're taking ideas and informations and suggestions from the medical team, the kitchen staff. This one has to say this one has to say this. This one I know the importance of working with data and all of that kind of stuff, but sometimes in football, in the Premier League, data does not really apply sometimes. Sometimes it's a gut feeling. Sometimes it's your mind. Sometimes it's an inspiration. Sometimes it's the Holy Spirit that gives you this kind of insights. The list goes on. The list goes on. When it comes to football, you can't just be okay. I'm looking at this data. I'm looking at this guy has scored this amount of goals for this kind of team in this amount of game. You can be banging out goals in a team that you are, and because something is working. Doesn't mean you bring that to Chelsea and it's gonna work. And that's one of the things. Soon as I say this so many times, you don't win the Premier League you don't win a league or the Premier League with kids or with young children. You can't. But you people want to come in, you want to run your new ideas, you want to come in and do your own thing. You want to change the nature of the Premier League. That's not how businesses work. I don't know how you're going to invest almost about 200 billion into a team and you want to tell me you didn't even go through the past history. You just neglected the old history and you think you want to start something new and run your own legacy. Nothing is work like that. I keep saying that. I've said this in so many of my videos. It does not work like that. You have to come in and check the terrain. You have to come in and make sure that knowledge are being passed down. Not people. That's why even when you start any job, you have to be trained. You have to be trained. Someone has to show you the ropes. Someone needs to show you, hey, as simple as this is where the fire exit is. This is where the toilet is at. This is where the convenience is at. This is where all of this is. But you must just come in and just wanted to start and start afresh and build something of your own. Like I said, it is not an NBA basketball team where you can just gather a couple of good guys together. You can have good players together on the pitch, but if you don't have the chemistry, you don't understand each other, you don't speak the same language, it's not going to work. Let's talk about Xavi Alonso. Xavi Alonso, great time at Liverpool. Great time in every other team. I think did he play for Madrid? I can't remember that well now. Yeah, but he's had a great career, and I can see him offering a lot for the central part of the pitch, really, in terms of carrying the ball forward and all of that stuff. This is really going to help Caicedo, somebody like Latvia, somebody like Enzo, and somebody like Cole Palmer, so even Joao Pedro. And I don't know about the wingers. I don't know how much this is going to help them, but we see. We'll find out as time goes on. But time at Chelsea is what we don't know. Time at Chelsea can be 2, 3, 4 games, can be 6 games. Next to the Prime Minister's office, next to number 10 Downing Street, the next big job in the United Kingdom is the Chelsea job. The next Airbnb is the Chelsea job, because you can be in there and you can be out any minute from now. But the good thing is you've come in towards the end of the season, the last 2 games to go. Nobody's going to judge you with the outcome of these last 2 games. You are going to be judged, depending on how the Spurs game goes down and the last game of the end of the season goes down. We're going to kind of try and gauge what we're going to. Obviously, the performance has improved a little bit. I can only say that because Kobe has returned back to the team. That's the only thing I can say. The performance has improved in the defense. Everywhere else was still the same. Nothing much has changed. So these last 2 games are going to show us the kind of ideas you want to run, and then we're going to see. We're gonna see what this is. You have the opportunity to have a preseason, something Rosinho did not have, and I don't think even if Rosinho has had that opportunity, I don't think he would have made the most of it. It was just not experience. It was not the job for him. The job was too big for him. It was too big for his boot, and he should not have taken that job. But it is what it is. When money involved and also this involved, people do whatever, and people get themselves into stuff. So yeah. That's bygone and bygone, but look at it now. Well, if Aston Villa does not win this thing, we might not be in Europe next year. So we might just be playing the Premier League, and which might be good to an extent. Because at least you get to focus on it. You don't have to be juggling too many things, and you have extra training time, you have extra rest time, and all of this kind of stuff. We could be to our advantage. if the Premier League standard stays as this. I'm going to do a video in the summer talking about Premier League standards and how the football has dropped because of this lack of passing down of experience and knowledge. It just seems there's been a sweep and a wave of taking out all of the experienced players from the Premier League, and we're bringing in young players. We don't see. It's so bad, because I come into the Premier League. I started watching the Premier League in the days of Alex Ferguson, in the days of Jose Mourinho, in the days of Ancelotti. Big famous managers, even as simple as Sam Allardyce. This way, or David Moyes. This way, managers that commands the changing room, and that's one of the things I'm concerned about with this appointment of Alonso. That's one of the things I'm concerned about, because he is not the Jose Mourinho. Does he have the potential? He's not the Ancelotti. He's not the, even Di Matteo with his shot run. All of this is definitely not Alex Ferguson kind of manager. And this is my major concern with it, because these players need somebody to show or command the changing room. They need to respect these managers. And because a lot of the Premier League and the football transition, in essence, too many players don't respect managers anymore. We'll see what's going on in Madrid, the way they're changing managers. Obviously, we know the current director of I don't know if he's director of sports or whatever his name is, Pellicini or whatever his name is. I'm not Italian, so I'm not going to be saying his name or all those kind of stuff. Even maybe it's Spanish, I don't even know. But yeah. When players feel like they're too big for the manager, they're bigger than the manager, maybe they're even any more than the manager, and they come in and say, "Oh, the manager or the head coach can't talk to me anyhow. I need to play this amounts of time. You can't just take me whenever you want to." We're in that era when these young boys have no respect, not even as simple as mutual respect, or is it somebody that has been appointed as the head coach? Let me follow. Let me listen to him. Back in the days, you see Alex Ferguson, you think twice before you talk to him. You know your career is on the line. You're not gonna just say whatever. You're not gonna just turn up late to training and you think you're gonna play the next game, or you think you're not gonna get your. So there's no discipline. There's no discipline in football. And since this involvement of so many young kids and this lack of leadership in teams, it's been playing a huge part, and that's been playing a huge part in Chelsea, particularly for me. From what I can see, these players lack so much experience. They lack so much understanding of football. I'm seeing some things and I'm like, even Sunday league players will not do this. And this is what we're seeing at professional level. This is what we're seeing at the Premier League standard, which is where this is a league that is ranked above so many other leagues. So many above other leagues. Even the Champions League is a competitor to it. Even though you're bringing top teams together, and that's Premier League. And the good thing about Premier League is anybody can beat anybody. Anybody can beat anybody on a good day. There's no, oh, it's Barcelona, we already know the outcome. There's no Bayern Munich, we already know the outcome of this. There's nothing to it. The odds are plain and open. So, and that's one of the things. So that's what I'm thinking. Alonso's appointment, is it really gonna command the changing room? Do you think he's going to command the change room? You guys can let me know in the comments. Let me know your opinion. Do you think he's going to command the change room? Do you think the players are going to respect him? Especially somebody that's played for Liverpool. We know Chelsea as a little rival, not the biggest rival, but yes, we have a little rival with Liverpool, whether we like it or not. As a big team, yes, I know they're Merseyside and they're in London and all those kind of stuff. Yeah, I know we've got all of that stuff going. But it is what it is. When he goes to Anfield, he's going to get booed. He's definitely going to get booed. Because obviously, I know some Liverpool fans were actually considering him coming to Liverpool. But the odds have changed now. Because obviously, nobody knows how long Slough is going to be there for. So, it is what it is. So, I'm thinking, him coming in, is he going to get the respect of the players? Are they going to listen to him? Because that's one key thing we know that the Chelsea players are not doing. They didn't listen to Rosinho. At some point, some of them, I'm hearing some people saying the reason why these players are playing like this is because the way Maresca left the team. But Maresca kind of like walked out of the team. Basically, he was looking at the Man City job. That's one option. And also, the moment any manager comes out talking about the owners or talking about the players, we know what Bluco is gonna do. They're gonna flush you out. They're gonna just sack you. It is what it is. Whatever discussion, everyone's gonna part with whether they like it or not. The moment Rosinho came out talking about players, saying how he didn't like the way the players were playing, he got removed. So, Alonso, are you going to be able to keep your cool? Yes, you seem calm and collected, but are you going to be able to keep your cool? And you think you're going to talk to these players and hand their respect, and then they respect you, and then, something great can work? I don't know. And that's one part I'm skeptical about. That's one part I'm worried about that. You've not, let me not say you've not done so much or earned so much to be the manager for Chelsea, but it is what it is. We've seen the transition of managers. They're fading out the whole coaches, the whole head coaches and all that stuff. Managers, they're fading them out and then they're bringing in young ones. So there's a lot of transitioning happening in the Premier League and in football as a general. And that's why so many standards of these things have dropped. Luis Enrique that we could have potentially got, we didn't get him. And we see what he's doing at PSG. Would we say he's the one doing majority of the work at PSG? Maybe not. Maybe not. Maybe the players who are more hungry and more desire, because this is what Chelsea needs at this moment. Yes, we need to be more hungry. We need to have more hunger. We need to have more desire. We need to want to make stuff. Some of these players are happy collecting their paycheck every end of the week, and they're happy with it. They're not aiming for higher heights. They're not trying to go further. They're not trying to collect titles. They're not trying to add history to their name. Some of these players are just doing it like it's a 9 to 5 kind of thing. And that's my major concern. So we need a manager that can actually control the changing room, make sure these players have their respect, put some discipline in place, and take this thing forward. And also be able to talk back to Bluco, because Bluco's going to be coming in, play this player, do this and do all of that. Nah, you can't be getting involved in a game. You can't. That's not how director work. Directors work. We want to buy this player. Justify why you want to buy this player. Not, oh, director, I want to buy this player. No. That's not how it is. It's more of the coach looking at the team and knowing what the team lacks and what what player needs to be added to make it work. So yeah, that's all my thoughts on Xavi Alonso. I don't think I'll have any more. But yeah, him coming in, we're looking forward. I mean, finally, I'm glad I could put on this shirt on again, because we've been without a valid manager for so long, or valid head coach for so long. It's, at least I can manage to put it on, because we can actually say we have a head coach, but we don't know what the future holds. We don't know how the players are going to receive him, whether they will or they won't. Do you think the players are going to receive him? Do you think Xavi Alonso is a great appointment? Let me know and put your comments down below. Anyways, thank you everyone for joining me, and I'll see you next time. Stay blessed. Remember, Jesus loves you. God bless you. Peace.